You're in trouble.
Howdy folks, and welcome back to World of Tanks with a mighty Jingles. For those of you who are wondering what happened with yesterday's double upload, those of you who were early enough to catch it, it was just YouTube having a brain fart again and deciding that the video that I'd pre-uploaded for Saturday in order to cover my absence at Gamescom should also be published on Tuesday with exactly the same thumbnail, title and video description as Tuesday's World of Warships video. For those of you who weren't early enough to catch the double upload, nothing to see here folks. Move along. Oh look, a tank. Well, a tank destroyer. This is the AMX CDA 105 Premium Tier 8 French tank destroyer, and it's been driven for us today by Danish Bacon. You know, when I was a very, very young boy growing up in Britain in the 1970s, I thought that all bacon came from Denmark. Well, the year I was born, Britain joined the European Union, and British shops were flooded with cheap Danish bacon. It was the only bacon you could get. British farmers just couldn't compete with the prices. How do you know it was Danish, Jingles? It was actually stamped Danish bacon on the bacon. That's how I knew. What's that got to do with tanks? It doesn't have anything to do with tanks. I just thought, okay, I just thought you might be interested. I'll shut up and get on with the show. Oh, actually, before we go any further, I'd like you to pay careful attention to the position of that Type 64. We're not quite 30 seconds into the battle, and he's just found himself a nice little bush, 2 tanks further to the north from Danish Bacon's position, as he fires his first shot of the game and plants one right into that T-71 over there, getting himself spotted of course into the process. Just remember that Type 64. We're going to be seeing him later. So, the AMX CDA 105, what do you need to know about this thing? Well, unsurprisingly, the gun is pretty good. Well, it's pretty good in most respects, but it's not that good in others. It has very good accuracy, and surprisingly, for a higher tier French tank destroyer, it also has a very good aiming time. The firing arcs, however, are typically bad. This is something that all of the French tank destroyers suffer from, pretty much from tier 7 up. The amount which you can actually swing the gun from the left to the right is very limited. So if a target passes outside of your firing arc, you have to actually move the tracks in order to be able to re-aim at the target, and this of course means you negate any camouflage bonus that you might have enjoyed, and you have to go through the whole aiming cycle as well. Also, while the gun is pretty powerful, it has 260mm of penetration on its armor-piercing ammunition and 390 alpha damage. The damage per minute is not very good because of the slow reload. Mobility is very good, however. It has a top speed of 55 km per hour and a dazzling horsepower per ton ratio of nearly 27. Of course, it's able to go as fast as it can because they pretty much forgot to put any armour on it. It's up to 100mm thick at the front, and it is sloped pretty well, but it's not the kind of armour that you can rely on to save you when your arse is on the line. Ooh, one more hit and the Cromwell's dead. Is he... Nope, missed. I wonder if he's still there. Oh, still there, confirmed. Way to give your position away, Mr. Cromwell. Yes. The side armour is just bad. It's only 40mm thick, which means that a gun with a caliber of 81mm or higher will get a partial overmatch, and a gun with a caliber of 121mm or higher will get a complete overmatch, making it virtually impossible to side-scrape in this thing. The top and rear armour is even worse. This is not a very well armoured machine. Which means that the typical playstyle in the AMX CDA 105 is using that ability to find yourself a nice sniping position and then taking advantage of targets that the rest of the team are spotting for you. The exact opposite of what Danish Bacon is being forced to do in this battle. He has 75% of his team's kills so far, and despite that his team are losing, and probably because of that his team are losing, at a ratio of 2 to 1. Not that the tanks down by the capture circle are doing a bad job. They are in fact doing a very good job. Not that that's a... ooh, hello. And bang, took your tracks off, took half of your health off. Is your repair kit on cooldown? Oop, it is now, but he got spotted. And there are 2 artillery in play, so tuck yourself in behind the building, just in case. Oh, hello, Mr. Comet. Yep, not nearly quick enough, Mr. Comet. He now has 80% of his team's kills. Now, where did that UDES go? How do you pronounce the name of that thing, anyway? I mean, I keep saying the UDES 03, and nobody seems to be willing to correct me, so presumably I'm getting it right. I mean, it wouldn't be like you lot to let me get away with a mistake. Oh, there he is. Okay, that's actually kind of funny. He's sitting there waiting for Danish Bacon to come around the corner, but Danish Bacon doesn't need to come around the corner, and he couldn't hit Danish Bacon from there. Unfortunately, he wasn't actually able to blow his tracks off there because, well, we know he's used his repair kit. No, Danish Bacon, don't do it. He can't one-shot you, but you don't want to lose 80% of your remaining... Ooh, hang on a second. Getting shot at by a T-34-85M, and getting shot at twice by a T-34-85M. It is not often this machine gets hit by 85mm guns without taking any damage, so that was kind of lucky. Okay. The tanks down in the cap circle are still doing a good job, but he only has 4 surviving teammates, although effectively he really only has 3 because one of his teammates is not proving to be much use to his team alive. If only there was somebody who could go and spot the targets for him, at least 3 of which are out there in the bushes in front of him. Our little friend in the Type 64 has not moved from the spot that he occupied 30 seconds into the start of this battle. He's still in exactly the same bush. It could be that his plan is to stay in that bush until he's the last tank left alive on his team and then quickly scuttle out from concealment, grab a couple of low-health one-shot enemy tank kills before dying and then complaining that he couldn't carry the rest of his team hard enough. Who knows? But if he stays in that bush for much longer, he might just get his wish. Well, there's the T-34-85. Did Danish Bacon... yeah, he did get spotted. Okay, well, he knows that Danish Bacon is here, but Danish Bacon knows that he is there. And if you're in a T-34-85M with that much health remaining, you probably really don't want to be playing chicken with this 105mm gun. Meanwhile, down in the cap circle, well, they've killed an enemy tank, but they've also lost one of their own. There are now only 3 tanks remaining, although to all intents and purposes there may as well only be 2 tanks remaining because the Type 64 still hasn't left its bush, and in the length of time it took me to say that, there are now, in fact, only 2 tanks remaining on the team. The T-34-85M is playing a very dangerous game here. Now, he obviously has 6th sense. He knows he got spotted, but even though he didn't spot Danish Bacon, he knows Danish Bacon is here because he knows that he got spotted when his 6th sense went off. Danish Bacon is getting a little bit concerned about that sneaky bugger in the Swedish tank destroyer, however, which is a very, very sneaky tank destroyer. Watch this. Look at that. 51 metres away. Oh, 51 metres away and didn't get spotted until he fired. Wow. And again, Danish Bacon exceptionally lucky that he didn't actually take any damage there. The frontal armour on this machine, as I said, will stop the occasional shot, but you shouldn't expect it to be stopping as many as this. And there goes the AMX 12T. Now, how lucky is the T-34-85M feeling? Is he in fact even still there? Oh, there he is. Right. You'll note that the KV-4 who finished off the last remaining useful teammate on Danish Bacon's team, is not capping. Which probably means he's on his way over here. Which probably means the enemy team is suffering from a severe case of no cap kill all. How many times have we seen that go wrong? There he is. Right. Is that the first shot the Type 64 has fired this game? Because the KV-4's tracks didn't fall off by themselves. Oh, and now he leaves his bush. Right. Yeah, so Danish Bacon is now the last tank surviving on his team. Although he's been, in effect, the last tank surviving on his team for at least the last 3 or 4 minutes. There goes the KV-4. Oh, here comes... Oh, it missed. Oh. He's got to get back into artillery cover, because you know those 2 big old Russian aunties are going to be aiming up on this side. Well, actually, a word on that in a moment. Back to the T-34-85M and the perils of playing chicken when you're in that tank with that amount of health and you're facing somebody with this 105mm gun. Now, back to the subject of those 2 surviving artillery players. You would think, at some point, knowing that Danish Bacon was in an artillery blind spot, and given that they haven't had anything else to shoot at for the best part of the last 3 or 4 minutes, you would be forgiven for thinking that they may have relocated to be able to actually get shots at the last surviving tank on the enemy team. Yeah, you'd think that, but you'd be severely overestimating the ability to think on behalf of most World of Tanks players. In fact, I'm going to lay down a challenge to everybody watching this video right here and now. Place your bets in the comments below. Anybody who thinks that the last surviving artillery on the enemy team has bothered to move more than 50 meters away from its starting point during the course of this entire battle, I will quite happily cover that bet. Any takers? Anybody at all? Any size bet, large or small, I will quite happily cover it. Well, nobody. Nobody's prepared to take that bet. It's almost as if you lot have played World of Tanks before. In fact, it's even better than that. Look at this. Spotted, about to die, doesn't even realise it. Still in his top-down view, still presumably staring at the last spotted position of Danish Bacon, waiting for him to pop up, and now wondering just exactly how the hell he died. Yes, really. Ace Tanker, Pascucci's medal for the 2 artillery kills, Pool's medal for the 10 total tank kills, High Caliber and Top Gun for Danish Bacon in the AMX CDA 105. But probably the most shocking thing about that battle isn't that Danish Bacon did as well as he did, it's that the Type 64 did as well as he did, and probably came out of that game thinking that he'd actually played pretty well. Now, I'm just planting seeds here. You never know who's watching the video and which of these ideas may take root, but maybe, just maybe, it's about time shockingly poor gameplay like that Type 64 was punished instead of being rewarded. Because as long as they keep rewarding players for playing as badly as that, they're going to keep playing as badly as that, thinking that they're doing the right thing. Is it just me? It's not just me, is it? No, I didn't think so. Well, we may not all agree on that, but I think we can all agree that Danish Bacon couldn't really be expected to have carried his team much harder than that, and did, in fact, play a very good game. So Danish Bacon, well done. Thank you for sending that one in. Everybody else, I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.